This is the Sunday SuperShow SausageFest spectacular show, Postgame show. Here I am, I'm Mark Warren, I'm hosting it. Your Cleveland Browns come out victorious over the Miami Dolphins. The final score of 41-24. That's right, we spoke at halftime. It was 28-3. Browns outscored in the second half 21-13. So the Dolphins didn't give up. That was a good thing for Miami. That's probably there's youthful talent, and they're led by Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'd almost keep them around another year. See what they can do with some of those young guys on their offense. They don't give up. Now, their defense is just complete garbage. That's why you scored 28 on them in the first half. And you led 28-3 in the second half. At halftime. And then they scored quick. They scored quickly again. You missed a field goal. You made a field goal. You made another field goal. And you scored a much-needed touchdown off of a turnover. An interception late in the game. Baker did throw a pick there in the second half. That's what led to the Dolphins' second touchdown. I believe I'm remembering that correctly. Pass thrown behind old BJ. It was both guys' fault. Beckham got a hand on it. But Baker definitely threw it behind him. So, you're going to have that. Baker got to 3 games without throwing a pick. Performed very well today. I think he threw for over 300 yards. He threw 3 touchdown passes. Hunt had a touchdown run. Chubb had a touchdown run. They ran the ball over 30 times combined. Chubb ran for over 100 yards himself. The guy just does it like it's easy almost. Chubb's the superstar on this team. I'll say it over and over and over again. And that's what opens up the play of the other guys. And everybody focusing on Beckham and keeping him to 4 receptions. And everybody looking towards Chubb to run the ball or catch it out of the backfield, or Hunt to do the same. And these guys blocking for each other, playing like Mack and Biner in the 80s. And it's causing Jarvis Landry to get open often. Man, he's playing well. Dude had 10 more receptions today and 2 more touchdown catches. I think the same was true with Beckham. He got in the end zone early there in the first half. Trying to rattle as much stuff off as possible, because I know Paul's going to try to call again. He called before I was even on air, and tell him, "Oh wait, the game's not even over yet. Why are you calling me? You always want to call when you're on air, because you think it's going to mean something. Let's see what it means." Well, Paul, half for us from somewhere in Kentucky. I don't know. He's in some car with some guy. The last thing, he just posted something on Facebook. So that'll be your Paul update shortly. Who knows? Maybe you'll even have a sports take. Hey, fun fact: this Ryan Fitzpatrick character threw his 200th career touchdown pass. I always liked the dude. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a reason why the Dolphins can be bad, but still not be awful. That dude leads a team. He's played for the LA Rams, the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm pretty sure the Rams were still in St. Louis when he played for them. The Cincinnati Bengals, the Buffalo Bills for 4 seasons. Spent a year in Tennessee, a year in Houston. I forgot about the Houston Texans year, the year he was there. 2 years with the New York Jets, 2 years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then lastly, now he's in Miami. He's literally that guy that Paul loves from that old beer commercial where he's been a quarterback on every Super Bowl team, but he's a backup. And Paul references that from time to time, even though the improbability of that is well beyond anything. It's ridiculous. It is impossible. So here we are. We got your little post-game thing here. The Sunday SuperShow, SausageFest, spectacular show, Browns victory post-game show. And yeah, they kind of limped towards the finish line there. Their defense not entirely look up to snuff in the third quarter. Had yet another Cleveland post-halftime lull, as we tend to do in our basketball and our football, because there is no halftime in baseball. And instead, that team just does it. They take like either April or May off, is what they do. Yeah, and in the NFL and in the NBA, both your Browns and your Cavs, they have weak third quarters. You almost set your watch to it. It's about as predictable as
does that happen in baseball?
Will and Grace having unfunny jokes in it. In baseball, well, the equivalent to it would be the seventh inning stretch, I suppose. I guess if there was any type of pseudo similar thing that happened in baseball, that would be it, because that's what rallies the home team through the last three at bats. I mean, in baseball,
most comparing apples and oranges in a sense. You can be anywhere between the fifth and the seventh inning. Actually,
I was just about to say the fifth, because that's when your starter begins to wear down, and your batters are coming to the plate for the third time if they've gotten to the pitcher at all. It should be about the fifth or sixth inning. You forced a couple walks, you've had a couple hits, your lineup's facing the starting pitcher for the third time, and everybody gets a hit. That's the way it would work if everything worked out well for your baseball club the same way every single game. It'd be the sixth inning, you knock their pitcher out, and you beat up their middle relievers a little bit. So, that's the equivalency in baseball. But in basketball and in football, Cleveland teams, they've done this for probably longer than I've been alive. Is the third quarter comes around, and all of a sudden they fall flat. The Browns maintained the lead. They kept it a 2-score game. Eventually made it a 3-score game. Technically, it was a 4-score game when you're winning. I guess it's still just 3. They could score 3 touchdowns and get 3 2-point conversions and make a game of it. But with just 3 minutes left, as you shored up in the fourth quarter, you shored up. I said that. That's what I meant.
It seems a little more profound to me in this particular Browns organization, though, that happens every third quarter. More than I've noticed in the past, anyway. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. But it seems to me in the past.
Well, the difficulty in this year is they haven't exactly had to lead a lot of times in third quarters. But when it hurts them, I mean, think about this, the key component to it. The Dolphins have scored 3 points in the third quarter all year going into this game. I believe they had 14 in today's fourth quarter. Or third quarter, Third quarter, they'd only scored 3 points in all 10 games before today's game combined. So they might have had 7 and then scored that next touchdown to make it 28-17 early in the fourth. But I'm pretty sure that was still the third quarter. The Browns went and they missed a field goal and stopped the Dolphins and scored their own field goal. And I think that wrapped up the third quarter. It's hard to keep track of time. Especially when you're me, and my philosophies on what time is, and we should have a 13-month calendar, and it's we only dictate what time of day it is. Times is arbitrary as money. It's just worth the denomination that we put onto it, the value, I should say. But then I was sorry, you get all crazy. We don't have to have 24-hour days. You can call them 36-hour days. One day you get 2 cycles of sunlight, and the next day it's dark for, it would be like 30 of your 36 hours, and that's not exactly right. But it doesn't matter. Cleveland Browns victorious. most points they've scored all season. Only other time they got this close was a 40-25 victory over the Ravens. This game is very similar to that one. You did play better than the other team. You had a spectacular first half. And people try to compare this game to either like the Seahawks game or something, as you only led in that game at halftime 20-18. This is different than that game. You let go of that game in the second quarter. In the Ravens game, even though you let them scrape back a little bit, you defeated that team. You had a really good win today, all in all and as a whole. You ran the ball well. That's the thing you need to do to win in this league. That doesn't change, regardless of how pass first it is. Your splits were probably pretty even. So I forget with Baker, if he had 26 passes or 28. He was very proficient. A lot of short passes. It's the kind of stuff you need to win in this league. And go deep when you got to. Throw 30-yard passes down the sidelines of Landry. That's what led to the Chubb touchdown run. I told you Chubb would get a touchdown run in the second half. We got that right. Pretty happy about that. I should have predicted it being a touchdown run and 2 field goals instead of saying Hunt might run another one in. I didn't get that right. I don't think Miami covered the spread either, so that'll be disappointing Thursday when we talk about that. That'll be Thursday on the Warren Brothers Sports Show. Make sure you tune into that. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, noon to 2. Noon until 2 p.m. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Let's see. A lot of stuff kind of put on the back burner for now. That's all around and everything else like that. Oh, Browns get the victory. It was a really good game. People are going to start. Well, there's your phone call. Told you he was going to call. Hello, caller. You are on the air.
Hi, this is Paul.
Yeah, I figured as much. What's going on, Paul?
I finally got a rent-a-car, and now I'm back home. Gonna come back home.
Yeah, sure you are.
Hopefully.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay, fine.
Well, I mean, you've been trying to get back home for 3 weeks. You somehow managed to Fitzmagically go from Pennsylvania, like Philadelphia, to Milwaukee to Paducah, or whatever it is, or Louisville. That's you somehow flew over or surpassed Cleveland twice.
Well, because that damn guy seen the top thing on the wing of the play.
Yeah, no, I'm aware.
By the way, what was the final score?
The final score in the Browns game was 41-24.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, because somewhere between around here, we don't get a radio station with sports.
oh.
Well, I wouldn't expect that market to play the Browns Dolphins game. You're most likely somewhere where you would have like the Steelers Bengals game, or maybe something like that. If you're in Kentucky, yeah, maybe if the Titans are playing. Oh, I'm pretty sure the Steelers beat the Bengals. I think the final score on that was 16-10.
Okay. So, I will talk to you soon.
Oh, you're hanging up?
I'm going to. It's
Oh, hey, you
going to
go.
be an interesting ride between here and Cleveland.
And it's you and the Pillows guy or whatever?
Those aren't pillows.
Well, you be safe and keep in contact with me and, continue to post on Facebook your travels. We can check those out at what,
Okay.
Mr. Cleveland on the Facebook or whatever dumb nonsense you're doing?
It's on the Warren Brothers Sports Show page.
So on the Warren Brothers Sports Show page, Paul is blogging on the Facebook Warren Brothers Sports Show page. You can read what he's been up to. misadventures of Paul and whatever other silly shenanigans that he's got going on.
Shenanigans.
That's right.
You can actually vote for which one is the best misadventures, but you and I can't vote for it because we made them both up.
Oh, I had virtually nothing to do with this because anytime I gave you any sort of insight, you just did whatever the hell you wanted to do anyway.
Okay, bye, goodbye.
All right, safe travels. Are you gone? You hung up? All right, good. So that was Paul Warren. He's my brother. He's my co-host. He's, I don't know, traveling all across the world on the company dime here. Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network is going to go broke because Paul Warren goes out on assignments and finds himself in Pittsburgh getting shaved and egged, and Philadelphia watching fights that he doesn't report on at all. Instead, he just talks about all the food that he eats. And is in Milwaukee and restaurants that he goes to up there too. Is somehow magically, I don't know how he pays for all this stuff coming out of Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network funds. That's why we need you to go to patreon.com, go to Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network, so Paul can jet set all over the world and make up these stories or have these adventures or whatever it is he does. Milwaukee, and then finally Louisville, Kentucky. They're going to have to change the name of that bat. Louisville Slugger? Oh, I barely even know her. They're going to have to call it like the Louisville Peace Stick or something. Louisville Good Time Had Smack Around and Rooney. You can't say smack in there. That's probably not right either. So, all right. I'm going to play some outro music. That's right there for that. And it's whatever. I thank my associate producer, Dad, for chiming in with a couple thoughts in there. Also want to thank any of you who are viewing, if you're watching this nonsense. And of course, I got to thank my older brother and the co-host of the Warren Brothers Sports Show. If he ever comes back even, there's other stuff we could do. Apparently he's just dicking around all over the eastern and northern United States of America. I'm surprised that he's going to travel back over us again and find his way into Canada or something stupid. Almost be able to be willing to wager on him doing that. It just seems like a Paul thing to do. So anyway, I keep forgetting that this song isn't exactly a short song. So that when I go to end, I should just start right when the song starts. I gotta wait till a particular point. I still got 2 minutes. I'm psyched for the Browns win. Yeah, it wasn't a great third quarter, but when you build up a lead, when you're up 28-3, you don't want to be jerks about it. The other team is going to have maybe 4 to 6 more offensive possessions. You just hold the ball, you run it, you get in the end zone a couple more times, or at least you score a couple more times, and you should be good as a team. So the Browns finished with 42 points. They finished with 41. Not too shabby on my end. Well, I think I did say it would be 42-3. I guess I'd lost some faith in the Fitz magic that Ryan Fitzpatrick seems to have, even though I'm a strong supporter of his as a dude who, all these people love Tom Brady. Mistake. You could have just plugged Ryan Fitzpatrick into the same system. It would have won each one of those Super Bowls. No, I don't know. That's hearsay and rhetoric. I don't really have time for those kind of debates. I don't know why I present such questions to myself. But Cleveland Browns victors today, forced a couple of interceptions, only had one of their own, defeated the Miami Dolphins 41-24. We'll have more in-depth analysis on Wednesday on the Warren Brothers Sports Show.
Ohio State and Michigan's going to be this week.
And that's correct. You can be prepared. Be prepared to hear plenty of previews for the Ohio State-Michigan matchup. The Browns in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. Mason Rudolph got benched today in their victory over the Bengals because Mike Tomlin knows he said, "Get off me, you." Anyway, Mike Tomlin's a black dude. He's their head coach. He's like, no, Mason Rudolph probably said that. So anyway, this has been your Sunday Super Show Sausage Fest Spectacular Show. Thank you, listeners and viewers. Thank my dad, associate producer dad, and of course my brother Paul, Mr. Cleveland Warren. I have been Mark Warren, and until next time, this time has been the most recent. Good day to you.